All right, my people. Well, all right, my people. It's good. This is Charles. I am Brandon Madison of Nexxlegacy Radio, and I'm here with a guy. Listen, having the opportunity to do a show where I'm spotlighting a lot of San Diego artists, music artists of all genres, different things like that too. So I got in contact with this band's music and I became not only impressed, but I became a fan and a supporter of what this guy has going on and shit. And not only is he doing his music at a high level, I just feel like listening to his music, watching his efforts take place, not just on social media, but outside. Like, he's assembling a team of people that's gonna be able to pave the way for greater things. And I want to welcome my man Crown Nosa on to Nexxlegacy Radio. What's up, bro?
Yes,
What's
sir.
up?
Yes, sir. Hey, I appreciate that intro, brother. Thank you, man. Thank you so much, man. Shout out to you, bro. I'm grateful.
Hey man, I'm grateful to have you here with me so we can talk music and stuff like that. But we could talk San Diego, we could talk, about your aspiring legacy that you're continuing to build and all that good shit. But I want to get started by asking you, man, how did you get started doing music? What was your first thing that you kind of felt in regards to, like, what, this is something that I was really born to do?
Well, it started with the church, bro. It started with the church. I come from, a family that, that went to church. We love God, and my mother, she always knew how to sing, man. And I was in the choir when I was a child. When I was like 5 years old, I was playing the drums, man. So at an early age, I had a good idea on, like music and sounds and yeah, when it came to singing, like one day I remember, as a kid, my mom was taking me to school and I heard a song playing on the radio and I started singing the song with the artist. I forgot what song it was, but I heard the song. I started singing the song exactly like the artist. I'm like, oh, I think I got something. So, so at a very early age, I knew I had something, mainly because of church, man. Church really kind of opened my ears to, music. And that's how it really got started, man. And yeah, I always knew I had it, but I never really took it serious till about, my my late teens, I would say, early 20s. That's when I was like, you know what? I think I could really, be a singer, be a musician. So
Was it like a certain song, like, okay, the church, that grabbed you? So was it just you being in the choir singing, or was it like one song that made you be like, yeah, I got
man,
this?
you know what? It will be moments, but honestly, truth be told, it'll be a lot of songs, like a lot of hymns, like those classic hymns, like singing those in church, those really open my ears to like harmonies and certain notes that go good together and really, knowing knowing how to hit a key properly and just all those things. So honestly, I would say like it's kind of hard to say if it was just one. It's a bunch of them, a bunch of songs, but yeah, they all contributed, towards me. So
Even during the church and singing them hymns and stuff like that, did you get a lot of praises from people in the church, and and just hearing just kind of like you harmonize certain things? And if you did, how did that make you feel, like, to get those kind of like accolades of hey, I like the way you
man,
sound?
you know what? It was actually like, that's an interesting question, because truth be told, I never really came out like I knew how to sing until I was kind of older in my teens. I remember me and my cousin, shout out Kiwi, we sang a Christmas song for church one day, and me and her, like, we did a duet. And when everyone saw me like get up, they're like, what's he about to do? He's the drummer. What is he? What's he doing? But they heard me and her sing. We sang this Christmas song. I believe we sang "Oh Holy Night." Yeah, that's what we sang, man. And the way we were both harmonizing together and the way they heard my voice, they were shocked. And it made me feel like, dang, okay, I really should be doing this. Like, you know what? I need to stop playing and really make music. Like, I can really do this for a living. I love the joy that I potentially can give to people. Once they hear what I can do on a song. So but yeah.
And it's cool that you threw that out there, because sometimes, be it if it's in the church, or you probably have somebody like, you know what, I like the way you sound. Sometimes, and I want to say probably more times than most, that you feel a certain way, like not just validation, like, you know what, I'm proud of what I'm doing. Like, this is what I'm supposed to do. So when you get it, when you get that praise from like strangers or even family members, like, you know what, I'm real proud of your hustle and your grind, it feels different, right?
Yeah, it does feel different. It feels kind of satisfying, like, okay, I'm on the right path, like it's just a reassurance, like, okay, yes, keep going, just keep doing it, just keep giving the people, what they want, what they like, it's my natural calling, so that's how I see it when, I see people, validated and feel good off of it.
So you grab the attention of, you know what, I feel like I got some talent. Oh Holy Night was like it. Like you was feeling something about this that made you like dive into, I don't want to call it specific genres of music, but the R&B, pop-ish, flavor, hip hop, some of that stuff or whatnot. So here you are, like with your transitioning from church to to this. How has that transition been? And the move, it's a little different than choir music though, right? A little
Yeah,
bit.
it's completely different, different sides of the coin, honestly. Well, I mean, transitioning from I guess church music to R&B, it's pretty much it's similar as far as, I guess, notes, but obviously different when it comes to what you're talking about and stuff like that. And as I got older, as I started experiencing in the world, I mean, I pretty much knew that I could, I liked R&B because you can sing about your experiences when it comes to relationship. Like, for example,
Yeah.
like for me, like girls who I've been with in the past and things like that. It was actually cool to get in a creative mode and create an R&B song speaking about or singing about a real experience that happened, with a girl. So yeah, like realizing that, it made it kind of, I guess, easy for me to transition from from like church music to like R&B. Just knowing that my newfound experience can be expressed. But even though it's a little, I guess it's kind of you know it's not little different. Some people. But
a little bit, a little bit.
I think it's a good way to express yourself, though. I don't know if you ask me. I think
I
it's a good way to
agree.
express yourself.
I agree. But let me also keep it a buck when I talk to you about music and stuff. I feel like this, as far as your art form right now, like you could give it a name as far as R&B, pop, whatever. But I feel like your sound is creating a different genre of emotion or feel when it comes to the stuff that I've heard so far. Mainly because when you listen, it can go a bunch of different routes in terms of like how you are articulating it if you want to put it in a class. But that's what separates yourself from like other people and other artists, because you don't sound like them, you sound like you. So when did you start developing like your gift? All right, I have this, I feel this, but now that I'm in this arena, let me try to create this whole sound that sounds like me and not like somebody else.
That is a very great question, man. Hey, shout out to you, man. These questions are fire. I mean, so
Let's come with
Nexxlegacy, man. Hey, look. So wow. So I would say, first off, I'm Nigerian, so I grew up in a Nigerian church. So I pretty much, like, when I was younger, like the music that I heard, it had an accent on it. So I believe, like, I mean, I'm not sure if you heard it or not, or from the outside looking in, I'm assuming on my songs that I may have like a tiny bit of an accent, possibly. I don't know if you
A little
notice that
bit
or
though,
not.
but that doesn't change or negate your style of
Mm,
music and how you do.
yes.
But go
Yeah.
ahead,
So
continue.
okay. So I would say maybe that mixed with um shout out to this producer. His name is Master Green. Shout out Master. Master Green is a producer that I was introduced to, in my late teens by one of my homies. And he's a music producer, but he's really good with working with and developing singers. So he gave me like a lot of different different practices that I can do to like develop my voice. Like, like I was really late when it came to doing things like and like just certain, like
Yeah,
certain warm-ups and things like that, and like widening my mouth when I sing, or like little details like that. He was the first person that kind of like introduced me to doing things like that, and I think that may have had an effect on the way I sing now, because I don't think too many people are really doing like the little things, when it comes to opening their voice and just trying different things to expand their sound. So
bro, that's big, especially because as you're forging through on your career path with this thing, like for having your own identity, I think is not only important, like your sound has to be authentic as well, coming from the place you're coming from if you're true to music. And I know that you are, because I see a lot of joy when I hear you. I was on your YouTube page and I was looking, your Instagram stuff, but I feel like that energy brings a lot of joy out of
oh
you,
yes,
correct?
sir. Yes, it does.
Add a little bit to that, because a lot of people need to understand that when you do music, you can come with a lot of emotional baggage. I think, even if you having a down day, you can still turn to
Mm.
music. Or if you're upbeat, feeling good, you can still turn to music. If you feel like dancing, you can still turn to music. If you're in love, you could still turn to music. So add on to like just the power of just that emotion tied to when you do music yourself. Like, how does it make you feel?
Man, it's almost surreal. Like, it's so surreal sometimes that I don't really know what to say, but pretty much like it just feels like a heaven on earth type of experience, man. Like I truly do love music, and it always brings me to like myself, because I'm so familiar with it. So um you know like whenever I'm in the studio and I make a song that I like a new one, I'm just like, I just get so grateful. I just start thanking God, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, like for real. Like, you know, I don't know. I get really happy that, hey, at the end of the day, like if I lose, if I lose all my money, or if I lose, friends, relationships, or if catastrophe happens, at least I can sing. At least I can just sing about it.
Bruh, that's the best thing that you could be able to say to like the world right now, because that's why I felt like, to me, I interview people, go through stuff for well over 18 years now. And I know I could tell when people love what they do. Like, hey, it comes out in music, it comes out in energy, it comes out, period. If you have a passion for it, you can also tell when people are just doing it just because they're trying to get a buck. You could also tell when they're just, I just feel like, what, I'm just gonna sleepwalk through this, and they don't want to put effort into it. So tell us a little bit about just your day-to-day effort, because I'm sure you're a family guy. You probably got a 9 to 5. You probably got a little bit of everything going into what you do. So talk to us a little bit about just the effort that you have to make and take in order for you to still continue to keep doing this thing that you love.
Yeah. So pretty much, I feel like I'm in a transformation type of season in my life right now. Because at the moment, 9 to 5 job. I do live at home right now. Honestly, like, I'm just realizing that I kind of have to just stay disciplined, stay disciplined when it comes to making the music, because there was a certain time in my life where you know, I was making the music, I was going to studios and stuff, but I was kind of like abusing alcohol and, you know, just kind of living in life a little bit too fast, you know, just living it a little bit too fast, you know, always out, you know, just always, you know, not properly taking care of my body, you know, things like that. And,
Yeah.
you know, I noticed it taking a toll on me and taking a toll on, you know, my drive and, you know, my want to make the music. So, you know, like one day I must have sat down and just really decided, like, you know what, you know, if you're gonna really do this, you know, you gotta give some things up. So, you know, I've been, you know, so I say that to say I've been sober for about like a year and a half now, you know, which is, you know, I'm not gonna lie to you, man, and
Yes.
and in being that, I promise you, bro, it just changed my my mindset, my life, you know. I feel like I'm motivating people around me to, you know, to do the same one day. And yeah, man, you know, I couldn't have asked for a better transformation, you know. So I'm grateful for doing that. It's tough though, you know. I'm not gonna say it was easy or anything like that, but
right.
You know?
But to me, that's part of your journey, your life journey, into trying to become better than what you were and what you are today. Like, always look at it in a forward thinking sense. Like, you know, you have, like, everybody has a journey. Everybody, whoever went through anything, didn't do things the way they wanted to. It progressed as you go through life. You took a chance to sit down and humble yourself. And you were like, you know what? Now I'm gonna put this alcohol, I'm gonna put this, I'm gonna move different. And sometimes it's hard for people to admit that it's time for them to change. So with that being said, I'm sure your mind got a lot clearer. Your vocals probably got a lot more sharper. Your determination to do more and be more magnified once you made that choice, right?
Yes, all of that stuff changed for the better, you know. Yes, you know, all that stuff changed for the better. So yeah, like, you know, with you know, of course things aren't perfect, but it's like
Yeah.
I see things more clearly now, you know. I can consciously make better decisions, and you know, I've been choosing to do so, you know.
I'm proud of you for that, bro. I'm proud of you for that, man. That takes real strength from a person just trying to do better. You know what I'm saying, and do more with what they got going on, and I totally love that about just the grind. So, let me ask you a question about San Diego music scene. So,
okay,
here you are. Here things are like you know, I've noticed, and I want to shout out to Princess for even giving me the concept of like uniting all the San Diego artists of all genres to, you know, put it on the radio and do what I do. So that's how I got to you. So if it wasn't for her, I don't even know what would be what.
shout out Princess, man.
Which is big. So tell me just life in San Diego as a music artist and how you're adapting, because you know it's a lot of your peers out there doing bigger than life music as well. So how you feeling about the scene of music in San Diego?
Man, there is so much talent in San Diego right now. Like it's crazy. Like sometimes I wonder, I'm like, man, like, you know, these guys need to be, you know, like they're on their way, man. Like once people really hear like what's going on in San Diego, like I'm talking about the rappers, you know, and you know, and there's a couple singers there too, you know, on the low, like in San Diego, man. Like there's a lot of great talent in there. You know, shout out to Bruh Omeezy, man. You know, he pretty much opened the doors, you know, to San Diego for me, you know, because that man, you know, pretty much, you know, he's from Dago. You know, he pretty much showed me, you know, all around, you know, introduced me to his folks. Excuse me. You know, I got well acquainted in Dago because of that man, you know. So
No doubt.
you know what I'm saying? You know, I'm originally you said what?
No, I was just bruh he deserves a lot of credit because I know he's out there trying to enhance your brand and stuff like that too, right? So
Man,
props
I'm telling you.
Props up top. You're originally from where?
So I'm originally from San Bernardino, California. That's where I'm from originally. And you know, I had I had a friend of mine pretty much introduce me to Meezy. And then after that situation, it was just like, you know, we just went off. You know, like we had this man, voice horse, hold on, my bad. Man, we had the same mindset, you know, like the same drive, you know, and that man, you know, like he has more drive than any other. Well, I'm not gonna say, you know, like any other, but pretty much most people that I know.
No
He
doubt.
has more drive than all of those people. I'm talking about drive, determination, and a great attitude. You know, like, you know, in the state that he's in, you know, like that motivated me even more to like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna keep my discipline going. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm, you know, doing what I gotta do. Because if this man could really, you know, have this much drive like that, you know, in his you know, like condition that he's in,
Yeah.
I don't have no excuse. You know what I'm saying? So you feel me? I don't have no excuse.
Motivation, a lot of things can come in different shapes, sizes, colors, whatever. When it comes to like, you know, hey, what you doing motivates me. What Meezy's doing out there motivates me. Like, to me, you know, you always got to look at life the way it is and be like, you know what, how can I learn from this person and level up and be inspired by? I always do that quick test of like, you know, who's out there. That's why I know like energy can't lie. Like, yeah, effort really can't lie. Like, if you're trying every day, all day, you're gonna make mistakes, but at the end of it all, like you're still thugging it out, trying to make sure that you do what you do. So the San Diego scene was adopted and introduced by Meezy. What about, you know, tourism type stuff in San Diego that you like? Like, what's some spots in San Diego you could just probably tell people like, look, you could go here, you go there, you go everywhere. What's up?
Man, well, you know, first off, you know, shout out downtown San Diego, you know, off rip,
Of
you
course.
know, you know, I think downtown it's lit. You know, there's some cool areas. You know, there's some cool clubs. You know, cool classy spots like for like F6, for example. Shout out F6. You know, in
Yep.
downtown San Diego. You know, shout out the homie that owns that. You know, that's Meezy's partner right there. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Let's see, Lemon Grove. You know, shout out to, you know, Lemon Grove. You know, there's actually a big lemon in Lemon Grove. You know, I didn't know that. You know, I was driving by one day and I seen it. I'm like, is that a lemon? What the? That's
Yeah.
interesting. You know, I'm like,
Yeah. Crazy,
yeah,
huh?
yeah, it's crazy. Like San Diego is really like, you know, it's really a sight to see. Like there's so many different things like you wouldn't expect to see. You know, so I mean, off rip, I can really just think of those two right now because, you know, whenever I'm out there, I'm always, you know, just driving around. And honestly, you know,
And then that's good enough. You're gonna have people taking notes right now and be like, all right, this is a spot to go. And if Crown Nosa said it's great, I'm gonna go check it out and probably follow you on social media and hit you up with whatever. Like, it's
hey,
always good. It's always good. So here you are. I'm sure you got a lot of stuff on deck in terms of like music and things like that. So before I ask you what's up, what's coming up for you on the music scene with singles, videos, and stuff like that, how do you feel about the music game in 2025?
that's interesting right there. I think the music game right now, I think it's in a decent place. You know, I think it depends on how you want to look at it. Um, at the same time, though, I think a lot of rap nowadays, you know, when it comes to rap, a lot of the guys sound similar. There's not, you know, there's not too many people that really stick out like that. Like there are the select few, you know, but it's like these days, like whenever like I'm on Instagram and I may come across like some new, you know, up and coming rapper, like there's a good chance that he'll sound like, you know, like another mainstream rapper, kind of, you know, like rapping that same exact style on the same type of beat. So I'm kind of like, okay, I mean, nah. I mean, you know, I mean, if you throw some bars in there, I mean, you know, I might still listen to it, but it's like it's not necessarily too, you know, too captivating. Like nothing too like, oh, you know, you know. So
What catches you then? Like, you know, what catches your attention as an artist yourself? And I'm not just talking about R&B and hip hop. I'm just talking about any genre of music. What's going to catch the attention of Crown Nosa?
man, I really like that hyphy type music that sticks out. You know, like because because a lot of rappers do sound the same, but when I come across a song that it kind of has like a different, I love rap. I'm not gonna lie. You know, I listen to rap like I'm a rapper. I'm telling you. You know,
I feel you.
Yeah, you know,
I feel you.
I just you know, to me these days, like 2025, like these producers, man, the beats that they're making, it's incredible. You know, these guys are making some really sick beats. You know, I can say, you know, that's a really, you know, positive thing I would say about the music game, though. You know, the beats are crazy.
No doubt. I'm with you. I'm with you as well. Just because I feel like creativity is, you know, is slowly creeping back in. Like a lot of people used to sound like a lot of other people, and that's always a music turnoff because, you know, I want Crown Nosa to sound like him and not like Chris Brown or whoever, right? So, you know, to me, I always look at it like that. Hip hop, same thing. Like I always feel like a lot of, you know, I'm finding out a lot of rappers are having their lyrics ghostwritten too. So that's where whoever's gonna ghostwrite it, I'm not, you know, whatever you do, but that's when the type of person who's really locked in should know who you are and your style and all this other stuff. Because if you don't, you're gonna sound just like the next commercial artist or whoever else or whatnot. Like, you know, I think there's a little bit of that when it comes to like just the game itself. But what are you up to right now with music, and what's out that the people could go grab and go check out?
Okay. So right now, I just dropped Cry Baby. It's a single that I made with my dog Sir Reisner. You know, he was actually he actually sang the first two lines of Crybaby. I think the first two or three. Yeah, the first 2 3 lines, and then I sang the rest of the song.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you know, shout out to him, right? And but I got that song right now. You know, I believe today I recently just dropped a single that I made with an artist named Peso. It's called Tell It Right, and I saw that he dropped it on SoundCloud, so you know, you can go check that out on SoundCloud right now. So Tell It Right, and right now I'm planning on just dropping singles every week. You know, because I got a good amount of music like held up. Like I got like, I would say maybe like 100 songs, like, you know, like you know, and honestly that's low. Honestly, that's low though. That's low compared to that. No, but that is low compared to what some of these guys out here got. You know, like some of these artists have. You know, artists have like, you know, hundreds or maybe even thousands of songs. You know, so but I got a good amount of songs in the tuck right now, and I kind of want to just, you know, just dish them out a week. You know, see what happens. Maybe dropping EP. So, you know, I'm still deciding, but for sure, I'm planning on just releasing songs every week. So that's what I plan on doing for sure.
What about visuals attached to it? You gonna have some out on your YouTube?
Oh yes, soon? For sure. You know, I'm working on that as well. You know, definitely.
Okay. Well, you know, when I you know, because I'm up here in the Bay, when I take a trip down to Dago, you know, I gotta come knock on your door and
hey, come on, stuff. Hey, wait, shout out to Bay. Oh, hey, you from the hyphy? What? You from the hyphy spot?
Yeah, when you said hyphy, I was like, bruh, that is my town right there,
Bay, man. I love the Bay for sure. Shout out to the Bay, man.
Come on,
shout out to the Bay for real.
Hey, the opportunity to be able to get your music played, not just on this station, but you know, other opportunities, I feel like is always important, not just for me to you, but just to pay it back to the, you know, people out there that's really trying to go get it in this business, because it's crowded. There's hella people around. It's crazy, right? So to find allies in this business is important. So talk to me a little bit about just, you know, shout out to Meezy, but just the people that's in your corner. How important is it to be able to just have like real hungry, stable people in your life right now?
It's surreal. It's something I've never had before. And you know, I'm most very grateful to everybody that like who I've met, and again, it was all through Meezy. You know, like the people that he's around, who I've gotten to know and who embraced me like family. Like it's surreal, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. You know, sometimes I feel like, dang, I got lucky, man, and just came across like a new family. Like seriously, I'm in San Diego sometimes way more than I'm over here in San Bernardino. You know, like that's how much, you know, I love these guys. You know, and look, shout out bro Meezy, I love you, bro. Shout out Elijah, shout out Safaro, shout out Mia, shout out YGP, Young Smoke, shout out Lee, shout out Slick Nick, Rope Deezy. Hey, we eye to eye. Hey, shout out Nitty, we eye to eye, man. You know what I'm saying? We coming in hot. You know what I'm saying? And look, and it's more. Hey, shout out Blow. Hey, look, it's more, bro. It's a good amount of us, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Like,
I love your energy, bro. Like, man, that speaks volumes on just the stuff that you got.
Bro. Hey, I entertainment, brother. I swear, bro. I swear.
Represent. That's what's up. That's what's up. Hey, how you feeling about social media in general? You love it? You hate it? It's kind of both. Like, what do you think?
It's kind of both. It's kind of both for sure, because there's a whole lot of nonsense. Like, damn, I wish I didn't see this right now. You know, it's kind of it's like it's a lot of just wild things. Like a lot of, you know, I think a lot of things are scripted. I think hey, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I think a lot of things are scripted these days, and we get caught up in watching. I'm like, man, these people are probably acting right now, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like a lot of stuff is just distraction.
It's a lot of scripted actors online. You just got to figure out the ones who are and the ones who are not, and then the ones who just want to see the world burn. And, you know, you're going to have your pockets of people who is really like trying to keep it a buck and trying to pay it forward and stuff like that. So I get it why some people are like real apprehensive. I just use it as a tool, and that's it. Like, it's not going to make my life or break my life. It's just a tool, and then go from there. Hey, Nosa, it's a blessing and it's a curse at the same time.
That is true. I definitely think it's one of those, because I think it's cool, like, you know, having the ability to potentially be a content creator, you know, like being on TikTok or YouTube. Like, I think it's so cool to create, you know, and I'm barely getting into that. Like, I'm 29, so, you know, I'm barely really getting into, like, you know, really trying to, you know, make videos and, you know, stuff like that, you know, so it's just cool. But yeah, it's definitely, yeah, you're right. You know, it's definitely, you know, a gift and a curse for sure. For sure.
Hey, but use it to the degree that you can use it, and then go from there. So if it wasn't for that, you know, shout out to Princess again. But if it wasn't for that, then we wouldn't be talking. Like, there's a lot of stuff that comes out of it that, you know, can work, right? So, you know, that's how I feel about it at the end. But I mean, speaking of which, throw your stuff out there so people can be able to holler at you, get to know you, book you if you're doing shows, all that good stuff.
Okay. So my Instagram and my TikTok, pretty much, and my YouTube is Crown Nosa, CROWN Nosa, NOSA. Let's see. Yeah, you know, pretty much, yeah, my Instagram, my TikTok, you know, my YouTube. Yeah, you know, yeah, even Twitter too. I'm also on Twitter. I'm on Twitter as well, you know, Crown Nosa, you know, and you know, check out my music on all platforms right now. I have a lot of songs coming, because my artist name used to be King Nosa, and I had a couple singles on there, but I recently changed my name to Crown Nosa because I noticed the King was kind of getting, you know, played out a little bit. Like, there's a lot of kings everywhere, you know.
Who you telling? Like,
hey, look. I know you noticed it. I know you seen it.
I did, but I saw that, you know, I have some of your tracks that had King Nosa on there too, but I also saw, you know, Crown makes sense too, but also I see a lot of guys who is King this, but also I see women who are taking that King name as well. What? So I don't know, bruh. I'm just leave it. I don't know. I think I could say a lot, but I'm not. But I will. Yeah. I will say
I
this.
feel you. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. Hey, they coming in hot. 2025. The females are coming in hot, man.
For real, bro. Like,
they
for real.
They coming in like
sometimes, like, but sometimes you don't need to be that hot. You can still be lukewarm. You don't have to be an inferno right away. Like, warm it up
Man,
sometimes. Like, stop playing. Like, we gonna still put the oven. We gonna put the oven mitt on, and we gonna still hold you. Just don't be an inferno right away. Like, just don't do that. That's my public service announcement to anybody who's trying to figure themselves out. But you rebranded your name. Was it an easy transition, or you just kind of felt like, you know what, forget it, I just need to do it and then just run with it?
Well, it wasn't easy at first. I think mainly because I was kind of procrastinating. I was kind of like, dang, like should I change it? Like, I don't know. Like, King is all right, I mean, I don't know. I think I had like 10 songs out with like King. Kind of like, damn, people know me as King Nosa. Like, should I really, like, is it gonna be that big a deal? But then after like, a couple weeks of procrastinating, I'm like, you know what? Just do it. Just change it. If that's how you feel, just do it then, I really like what you did, bro. Like, I like how you put the crown on top and then put Nosa on the bottom and introduced me. That was fire. I know that. Hey, that was fire. That was fire. I was like, damn.
Come on, man. If I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna put a little bit of what you are all about, and then I'm gonna add a little something like that to it. That's how, clearly you saw that I put some thought into this moment, right? So I was like, you know what, let me make sure that my man knows that I'm actually really paying attention to his brand and just want to try and see if I can level it up. So that's what I do, bro. That's what I do.
Yeah, real one, bro.
I do. Hey, man. Hey, a couple more questions with you. But I do want to ask, if you navigated through social media, you know how the game is as far as music and stuff like that. So are you doing like, you people that want to book you for shows, you about that life, or what's good?
Oh yes, bro. Honestly, like, I found out a new love aside from, making the music and stuff like that. I love performing.
Okay.
It's a thrill. It's a thrill just to put myself out there, and then it's also a thrill to, like, show people, my music, and because I do believe in the music, so it feels good to, like, perform in front of people, get their reactions, and just make everybody feel good, man. So yeah, I'm always performing. And look, shout out to bro Meezy again, bro, because because he's been booking artists for years now. Like he's not new to it. So he's been all over Dago, like in places in Los Angeles and in Dago, obviously. Like he booked me shows in Atlanta, so like. Yeah, like pretty much, he's been real tapped in, what I'm saying? Because, shout out everybody, Wheel World, what I'm saying? Like he has his own, like community, like his own group that really supports him, and he's plugged in with them, so he just puts me everywhere. And, I tell him, I don't care where it's at. I don't care who's there, how many people. I will perform anywhere, because I just love doing it, bro. I love performing. So.
We're gonna have to get you up here to the Bay though,
like
ASAP.
Dude, that was so crazy. Hey, if I can go to the Bay,
I have to get.
Come on.
We gonna have to get you up here to the Bay, bro. Like,
hey, look, let's set it up, man. Let's set it up.
To the Bay. Bring your talents to the Bay. Let's go. You know what time it is up here, man. You know it.
Yes, sir.
You know it.
Come on, bro. I rock with the Bay, bro.
Hey. All that means, Nosa, is that we got to stay connected and figure it out and go and grow from here. You know what I mean? So you my homeboy now, so we're gonna have to figure it out.
Yes, sir, brother. Look, I'm gonna have to get your contact, bro. You know what I'm saying? For real talk.
Hey, say less. Meezy got it, but I'll make sure I'll pass it on so we can do what we do. So that's big. So check it out. I know you said you 29. You got the church history. You got the R&B / Nosa is like your genre of music. Like I told you, you have your own sound. Your pocket, your lane is your lane. So much respect,
man.
So when it comes to music, and I asked a lot of people this that I've interviewed over the years. So what is Nosa's best music decade? You only can pick one decade. What is your best decade of music ever?
Wow. What do you mean? Like my best decade? Like what year I'll be able to to put out like the best music like I could possibly put out?
Nah. The best, like if you compile music from the 80s, the 90s, the early 2000s, 2010s, if you could take a decade of music and say,
Oh
you know
my
what,
gosh.
this is my, I know I'm putting you on the spot, but that's okay. Like, you know, Nosa got this. Like, what is Nosa's best decade? I feel like you can't go wrong no matter what you pick, but I'm gonna know something about you if you pick a certain decade. So I'm with you.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie,
What
bro.
is
I'm not gonna lie,
Nosa's
bro.
best decade?
Hey, you are a fantastic interviewer, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Hold on. Bro, I've never heard no interviewer ask that type of question. That's a great question, bro. Like, that's a
That's
fire
love right
question.
there, bro. And you being a music guy, you can't go wrong. But I'ma still know something about you with whatever decade you choose. So
Can I just give my props though? Can I give
of
my
course,
props?
of
Okay.
course,
So
of
before I answer
course.
because that's kind of tough. Damn. I and look, bro, every single decade, you know,
Respect.
so because without the previous decades, the newer ones, we wouldn't be here, at all. So
No doubt. No
so
doubt.
obviously, like the music that was like in the 60s, the 70s, like I feel like that music, like some of those songs were so like it was a lot of jazz that I kind of like noticed and kind of found out about, later, like in my later years, right? I'm
Okay.
like, oh my goodness, like
Okay.
if you're in the right mood, like you would just rock out to some of these songs, like, oh man, you know, like
100%.
it's
100%.
just raw
Absolutely.
feel good music, bro. Like no negativity, no nothing, just feel good music, So I really love that
Yep.
feel good music, bro. Now, okay, I say that to say, damn. So when I answer this, is this so this best decade is for both R&B and rap, right? And all the other genres.
Nope. This is the best music decade of you bottle up all the genres of music in that decade.
Damn. God. Okay, bro. I got you. You might hate me for this, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I think the 2000s went crazy.
Or the early 2000s?
Yeah, the early 2000s. Yeah, like that 2000 to like, or how about I think that night. Ooh, damn. I want to pick two decades so bad. I want to pick two of them so bad.
I'll give you 2 decades,
Okay.
bro. Go ahead, give me 2 decades.
If I can pick so yeah, that 1995 to 2005 to about like 2010. Just that range, like the music that was being dropped, especially the early 2000s. It was just so. I'm not gonna lie, it was just hits after hits after monumental. Just I think it just made music so amazing to me personally. I mean, but and I hate to say that, but obviously, right? There are songs in the 90s that were just as monumental, though, of course. Like,
no doubt.
But
no doubt.
If I had to pick, though, man, you made me pick, man. I'm gonna go with, with the 1995 to the 2005 to the.
I give you that, but I also will give you 90s and early 2000s, 2000 to 2010.
Come on.
Like you bottle those decades up, and the transition was wild because I felt like we was going into a different phase during the mid 90s to the early 2000s, and the internet exploded like after the late 90s or whatever. So it got a little different, but I respect. So follow up to that though.
Okay.
Follow up to that. So if you pick those decades, mid 90-ish to like the mid 2000s, fashion, what will you take from then that you will actually take today that you would rock, like when it comes to 90s fashion, early 2000s fashion that comes off the top of your head? What was hot that you feel like, you know what? Hey, if I bring this back in videos, I could never go wrong.
Wow, that's interesting, man. Damn. In the 90s and in the early 2000s, what was popping like clothing wise?
It could be clothes, it could be hairstyles, it could be on you, or it could be on women. Whoever.
You know what? Damn. I guess baggy t-shirts, you know. I really rock with them baggy tees, man. Like that's, I like a baggy tee, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I like baggy clothing.
So you scared? So you saying no skinny joints?
Oh well, yeah. I'm not gonna lie. Some of them skinny joints, those can be hard, bro. Like, but I don't know. But I can rock some skinny joints, and I can rock some baggy, some baggy. It's just hey look. The skinny joints, they just gotta look a certain way. They can't be too sparkly or. They can't be too,
Hey, yeah, okay, I feel you. I got you. That may not be my speed. I might be way too old for that thing, but I'm just telling you now, like, the baggy joints from the 90s could never lose. Even on women, though, bro. Like, on women in the 90s, the baggy joints was still sexy on them, though, right? Like, it was,
bro. I got an image in my mind of, like speaking of like how like the 90s and stuff like that. When I think of the 90s and the women in the 90s, I think of them in just like, a baggy tee, and just chilling just like that. And that alone is enough, rather than, just being a little extra, showing everything. Like, damn, like if you just
telling you, man, it still made them sexy no matter how big the clothes was on them. Like they would have the big baggy joints, the shirts and the pants, and then they got a little crop top ish, but they still had the baggy pants or whatever. They still had,
man. I feel like I can still see them. I don't know. I feel like I can still see everything. Like
real, bro. For real, exactly. But they was winning to me. Like they was winning. You didn't have to now it's just easy access all day. Like
not for real.
Just saying, bro. Like just saying.
Real talk. That's real, I ain't gonna lie.
But
that's real talk, bro. It's kind of like damn, just teasing.
Give me something to work with here.
Like dangle it in front of me or something,
Oh man. And, bruh, like I just remember Janet Jackson in those days where it was just like, what she had on enough that wasn't too revealing, but also, damn, I want to know what's underneath too at the same time. You know what I mean? Like it just made sense to me. And even the Escape chicks back in the 90s too, right? So they was all baggy and all that stuff, but I still wanted to know more. Just saying.
Nah, for real. Facts.
Just saying.
Facts. That look, like that vibe. Like, one thing I did like about the 90s, like I just liked how it looks, like how the music videos look, like it just that vibe alone, it makes you just want to, oh damn, I want to just travel back in time for a second and just experience the 90s.
No doubt.
Like I love the 2000s music, but if I could experience a decade, I want to go to the 90s. I want to go to the 90s. I want to see
what for real, bro. I love it. Man, before we shut this thing down, man, give your shout outs again. I know we gonna shout out Meezy again, so we gotta lead off with him, but shout out whoever you can think of off top one time.
Okay, so look. Shout out to bro Meezy again, bro. Shout out him. Shout out Elijah, bro. That's my dog, bro. Both of those guys, family, bro. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. Shout out Safaro. You know what I'm saying? That's Meezy's best friend, his brother. You know what I'm saying? That man showed me love like crazy, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, shout out Mia. She's the homegirl. She shows love. You know what I'm saying? She supports me and also, has posted my music before. You know what I'm saying? And that means a lot because, I never try to force anyone to do so. Like I will promote it, but for her to do that, it means everything. You know what I'm saying? Like it means a lot. Shout out my bro YGP. You know what I'm saying? That's the homie I met out there. Young Smoke, you know, that's another young partner of Meezy's. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to him. You know, he's a rapper, he's an artist. We got some songs coming out, you know. Shout out to the homegirl Lee. You know what I'm saying? You know, she's an up-and-coming producer. She's hard. She has some dope beats. You know, shout out to my dog, Slick Nick, though. You know what I'm saying? You know, Slick's partners. But Slick Nick is a really dope producer, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know, I got some stuff in the works with him. Shout out Ro Deezy. You know, that's another producer, you know. He has a lot of great stuff in the works, and Ro Deezy is known, bro. Like, that man makes tremendous beats, you know, and he's another one of Meezy's partners, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep it 1,000, bro. Like, Meezy's really just blessed me, you know what I'm saying, with the folks around him and everything like that. And to the, you know, he's another young partner of Meezy's, bro. And, you know, all these people show me love, bro. So, you know, shout out to them. Hey, look, shout out to the homie Don Elway. I got a song with Don Elway. It's called Real Life. He's a San Diego artist. You know what I'm saying? You know, he's real known out there, man. Like, you know, he does his thing. You know, shout out to him. You know, shout out to Adonis the Hottest. You know, he's from San Diego. Shout out to the homie Duke. You know what I'm saying? You know, the homie Duke the ruler. You know what I mean? Shout out to him. You know, another one of Meezy's partners, bro. I ain't gonna lie. And yeah, bro, all these people, bro, like, you know, they mean a lot to me, man. And hey, mom, you know, shout out to my mother, of course. They came about.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. Shout out to my mother, man. You know, shout out to my sister, man. Shout out to you know, all my family. You know, shout out to everybody. Hey, look, shout out to Nexxlegacy. You know what I'm saying? You know, shout out to you, bro. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you, man. Shout out to the Bay. Hold on. Hey, yeah. Shout out to the Bay one time, bro. Shout out to everybody, man. For real. So, look, shout out, bro. You know what I'm saying? We coming in hot, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Hey, man, this is gonna be the first of many connections that we're gonna have, like, throughout your career, and I'm glad that, you know, I'm one of the ones that, you know, is you know, putting you on this platform and other platforms and everything else. Your music will always get rotation. You know, your brand will always be elevated. There's a lot that I know we could still do and be active on, but also there's room for us here, right? We don't have to be like mainstream to make it. We making it now, like, and we're growing now. So anybody that want to, like, come follow us and holler at us, we here. Like, we outside. Not right now, but you know what I mean? Like, you know,
real talk.
We may be outside sometime, but we still inside, you know, make a history. Like, that's what we do. So that's what's up. Bro. So, social media one more time for the people.
Okay, so Crown Nosa, that's how you find my Instagram. That's how you find my YouTube and my TikTok. It's Crown Nosa. That's CROWNNOSA, man. Crown Nosa, man. And that's also my artist name. You know, you just find my music on Apple Music, you know, Spotify, all the platforms, bro. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of singles on the way, so just look out for that. A lot of visuals coming too. A lot of stuff in the works, man. You know, so I'm excited about all of it, bro. So yeah, you know,
I'm excited. I'm excited for you, man, because anytime that you go through an interview and you starving and hungry and you doing this, that means nothing but you about to go cook something that's gonna be legendary. So love that, bro. I love that. I love your energy. Let's work. And when I say let's work, you know what I mean. You know what time it is. So
yes, sir.
We gonna rap these people and we gonna make it count, because at the end of the day, we only got one life. So what are you gonna do with it? We gonna grind and do what we do, bro. So I'm proud of you. I can't wait to see what's next. But I want, as a station, I want your exclusive music. We're gonna break records here. So I want it. Anything brand new, give me the exclusive. Just saying, I'm putting it out live on the air right now. I want it. I want it, sir.
Right now?
Let's go.
Okay.
Nah. When you break records, I just want exclusive.
Okay. Come on.
To this.
For sure. For sure, bro.
If you got a new single that's gonna be introduced to the world, I want it.
Oh yeah, yes, sir, bro. Hey, look, I got you, bro. I'm holding you to that, brother. I got you for sure. I got
listen, I'm claiming it when I say, hey, y'all remember when Crown Nosa was on Nexxlegacy, when this man is just like blown up everywhere. Be like, y'all gonna go back and look at the archives. Y'all gonna be like, oh, he debuted it first on Nexxlegacy. Bam, there you go. Let's do this.
Man,
just saying.
Real talk, bro.
Just saying.
Nah, I got you, bro. You know that's
saying.
what's gonna be.
Hey, man. Hey, I appreciate you, bro. Keep doing big things, man. You got it. You got it. Do not let anybody distract you from doing what you are put on this earth to do, bro. Love your energy. Love your energy.
I appreciate that, bro. Thank you, man. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Until the next time, bro. Let's go get it.
Yes, sir. Hey, look, I will be back again. Hey, shout out Nexxlegacy, man, the best interviewer. Hey, look.
Yeah,
I'm gonna see y'all, man.
Hey,
let's go, man. Let's go.
Appreciate you, bro. I love it. Love it.